person passed? Yes, because of the
Very
First
different.
Amendment. Listen to me.
Different.
It's First Amendment protection versus the idea of a group getting together to bust the shorts. But if the group is not.
But the group is literally kind of there in the form of a subreddit. I mean, there's no, like, it's on questionable enough grounds that they could probably take action just to fucking put the fear of God into people. Do you know what I mean?
It's just a lot of people who love it. It's going to be very hard for the U.S. Attorney to do anything, Herb. What is it? The SEC. They're not. What kind of case do they have? We like the stock. We like the stock. I mean, that's the kid where Ryan Cohen got in. He bought 15% at $8. He's on the board. We like the stock. How is that bad? Or do you think that they're concentrated and doing some sort of manipulation if they say they like the stock?
Well, I don't know if they're concentrated because I don't have subpoena power and I can't really go out and look at it. I could argue I don't even know if there are foreign powers at work here behind the scenes trying to make chaos on the market.
Oh my God. Okay, dude. Oh, dude, liberals are so fucking annoying. Oh, my Lord. Oh, it's Russian involvement, maybe? Please. SEC, please. People that aren't supposed to make money off the stock market are making money. Maybe it's China. Maybe it's China. Please. SEC, please, why won't you do something? It's like he's more mad that people that aren't supposed to be making money are making money. And he's not in on it.
Let me ask you this, Jim, because I think Mike Santoli, look, there's a good number of people
probably not a lib. He's absolutely a lib. All these motherfuckers are liberals, bro. They live in New York. They are the reason why the Democratic Party is so fucking pro Wall Street deregulation. Because these guys are all liberals.
We're like, I'm not investing in
CNBC. Of course they're liberals.
These kinds of stocks. I don't know what the heck they're talking about. I'm really not interested in it.
They're peak
Jim,
Democrat.
Mike brings up what really is the cogent point for the broad audience. This is a sideshow. Does it at some point disturb the main event?
I think that more people are worried that it's going to disturb the main event than it is. It is a sideshow. What happened in GameStop? Okay, so the big trade was to be long the 40 calls and to be short the 60 calls. So they forced you to cover the 60 calls. They being the market makers had to cover. They started covering around 4 o'clock. So you did not, if you own the 40 and you're short the 60, you got caught here because you were not able to sell the 40 at the same price that you got closed out in the 60. So you see that there were closing out and closing out and closing out. And Pete, you know this. And then once it was done, boom. I mean, anyone who was long it from the 40 calls doesn't have the capital. So that's why it came under pressure.
By the way, Hassan, you know you were contributing to it? Yeah, fuck yeah. Great. That's awesome. Yeah. I love it. That's awesome.
It just shows you, too, what, like, okay, we came into the show today, Jim, saying, okay, we're going to lead with technology. NASDAQ's ripping today. We're leading into a bunch of really critical earnings. And then we see what's happening with GameStop and the rest of the market story, and we're like, what in the world? So you make this great pivot. It sucks a lot of the air out of the room. At the end of the day, though, Jim, this week and this month and maybe the next one is going to be driven by the numbers. Right. I hope. The fundamentals.
And it's tomorrow.
Fundamentals
it's tomorrow. What's Johnson & Johnson going to say? What happens if Johnson & Johnson says, okay, we had a great quarter. Stay tuned because you may only have to take one shot. I mean, where does that stock go? Look at Eli Lilly. Look at what happened to Eli Lilly on a couple of good news and Alzheimer's.
What happens with these earnings?
Say you again?
Companies come out. What happens with these companies, Jim, if people come out? And we know it's when the company stands up and the company says it's not quite what you expected it to be at these levels. And what I think is very interesting as I watch it, as these stocks go higher and higher and higher, executives are human beings. They have feelings. They get caught up in it too. Now they have
Oh my God. Oh, this guy is my favorite personality, dude. Oh, fuck off, dude. Oh my God. Not a single person like taking a step back and being like, well, there's a problem with the fundamentals if this can be so easily manipulated by a group of fucking dudes on a subreddit. Not a single person has said that thus far. And instead he's like, well, what about the feelings of the executives? I mean, come on. Yeah, spoken like a guy who was shorting fucking GameStop, dude. That's That's what this guy's doing right now. He's getting fucking owned by a bunch of weirdos on Wall Street bets. That's what he sounds like. What about my executives, dude? I mean, I can't buy cashmere quarter zips if I'm fucking losing on my shorts here, dude. Come on.
These statements that you can't prove.
Now they have to justify. I'm trying to think through it. Now they're trying to justify.
I've known you for so long. I like to do this with you. You know that. Go ahead.
I love it, Jim. I love being with you. So
really?
now they have to justify. Now they have to justify the stock somehow. And that's where I believe you get into this issue of aggressive accounting, which people don't pay attention to any of that anymore. They haven't for a long time. People start getting more aggressive. They get hooked on the drug of aggressiveness. And that's why Jim Chanos is out there talking about the golden era of fraud.
I was literally
this is going to be
thinking
a
of that.
very interesting period going forward.
I was literally
very
thinking of Chanos saying the golden age of fraud when he was with us.
The golden age of fraud?
The other day.
Wait. Okay, so tell me, was the fraud Wall Street Bets decided to go after Bed Bath because some idiots are shorted when the
Has
whole
nothing
company
to do
has
with Wall
changed?
Street Bets.
67% short and the whole company's better than it used to be? What is the case to be short Bed Bath and Beyond? Anyone have it? Anyone have it?
Maybe. Well, actually, it did show up on our model for breaking retailers that we put out a while back. But that said, didn't take into account the new CEO, didn't take into account things. But that was, by the way, that was a long time ago. So again, he has to justify what he's doing at Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know. It's not a company we write about. But, I will say that in the end,
I'm mad that our made-up system is not moving the numbers in the not moving numbers in the way that we intended it to move, because some other people are taking advantage of the made-up system in the way that it's made up by exposing a fucking flaw in it by collective action. Great. Fuck you.
What will the managements do? What will they have to do to justify these stock prices? And these proxy statements that are going to come out later this year, it's going to be interesting to take a look at bonus structure changes and things like that to see how much of it is tied to the stock. If there's any tweaks that are going to indicate, that are going to suggest that management has to get more aggressive or wants to get more aggressive. I'm not going to say it's going to happen.
If interest rates go up, I think a lot of this game goes away.
Nah, dude, permanent growth is good. The real scary part is what is going to happen in the aftermath of all this when the market isn't fucking consistently growing. And that everything you buy ends up helping you out. What is this?
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Today, what I'd like to do is talk about market manipulation, Wall Street bets, the mainstream media, institutional investors, and how they are trying to completely pull the wool over your eyes so that you blame the wrong group of people for what's been going on today. This makes me incredibly, incredibly angry and aggravated because what they're doing in a lot of the articles that I'm reading is they are framing the argument to prime the pump for you to be mad at someone that you shouldn't be mad at. They don't want you to be mad at the institutional investor. They don't want you to be mad at the greedy hedge fund manager. They want you to be mad at someone just like you who's typing on their keyboard some funny crap during work, posting little rocket ship emojis, and buying stock. And most of the time, I imagine, from what I see from the posts, fairly small quantity. Now, to be clear here, just because I am getting up here to talk to you about the bullshit that money managers and hedge fund managers and institutional investors are trying to get across does not mean that I agree wholeheartedly with everything that I see posted on the Wall Street Bets forum. Just because I dislike the money managers that appear to be pushing what I believe to be a false narrative.
So what's up? Did he murder someone? Why he's got those gloves on, dude?
narrative doesn't mean I sign off on everything I read here. This is a ridiculous place. Most of the people who are members of this ridiculous place will tell you that they are ridiculous and that this is a ridiculous place. I am not saying that I agree with everything they say or everything that they do. All I'm saying is that this is a two-sided story, and at this point in time, I believe that you are hearing one side. So what went on, and what is it that pissed me off about it, and how are we going to dig into this? So what we're talking about is GameStop going from around $4 or $5 earlier last year to all the way up to $140 today. So GameStop is a retailer of video games. As you can see, over the past 5 years, their market cap has kind of been bleeding out slowly. More people are buying the games online. More people are having them shipped to them using other platforms other than GameStop. GameStop is not exactly a particularly very liked store. It's an old blockbuster-ish model. So a lot of people thought that GameStop was not going to survive the transition so that we're making in our economy right now, whether it's retail going away or brick and mortar going away or both when it comes to selling video games. So the stock has been going down. And as you can see, over the past 6 months, there has been a radical comeback here where, right before Halloween, it went up to around $10. And then right around Christmas, it was, hitting around almost close to $20. And then it hit up to $35, then $40, then $60, and earlier today it hit $140, which is absolutely insane. And there are
The irony is the only reason why I hit 40 before this push is because I assume the reason to short right after the holiday season is because it's the smart thing to do then, because it's absolutely going to go back, right? It's absolutely going to go back right the fuck down once regardless of whatever kind of investment that they're getting after, the PS5 craze is fucking over.
There are a lot of people on this forum on the internet called Wall Street Bets that are saying, I like the stock, buy the stock, you should buy the stock, here's why you should buy the stock. And they post funny memes, which makes them an easy target because they talk in silly terms and they call each other retards and gay bears and curse at each other and all this crap. They're an easy target to single out and show, look at all these bad people. When in reality, again, they're memeing, and realistically speaking, that's probably how people talk on the trading floor anyway. My dad was a broker in the late 80s, and this is how a lot of people talked. It's actually usually much worse than this. Anyway, so what's going on here? Well, the news is going to make you think that these people are all evil market manipulators that sat down and hacked something or did some evil thing to manipulate the stock to make it go this high, as if nobody else had a hand in this occurring. What they're not doing is they're not discussing the actual cause. They're showing you the funny screenshots of the funny.
The difference is, I think that they are market manipulators to some degree, but it's good. Beyond the Redditor who made $20 million, it seems like the entity gaining the most from GME rocket ship is none other than BlackRock. Just today, they disclosed owning 13% of the company, although it seems like they sold 2 million shares since 2020. Shaking my head, why didn't you hold Larry? And given that it's BlackRock, that means GME is probably being held in a bunch of their retirement accounts, which means the hated boomers might be having the last laugh.
Posts, they're showing you the high stock price.
I mean, just because they're crowdsourcing the market manipulation doesn't mean it's not like kind of like market manipulation, but it is literally like
after the funny posts, but they're not actually showing you how we got here. Now, in order to explain how we got here, I'm going to try to explain the very concept of short selling and everything else, how stocks go up and down, because you may think this is being overly simplistic, but these articles that are priming people to not hate the hedge fund investor or the institutional investors that are priming you to hate normal everyday people, they're relying on people who don't have a knowledge of the market, who don't have a knowledge of finance, because those are the people who are going to fall for this stuff. So I'm targeting this video for people who don't understand the market, which is why I'm going to explain things very simplistically.
I just want to repeat something. Even if it is literally market manipulation, it's good.
So stocks go up when more people want them because the companies are doing better or they're going to do better. Stocks go down when less people want them because that company is doing worse or they did something stupid. Just like any other good in life, if 10,000 people want this camera and there's only 5 of them in the store, chances are the store is probably going to raise their price on them. And if 5 of this camera are in the store and they're sitting there for a year and nobody wants them, it's probably going to go on sale and be cheaper. This is the basic rules of supply and demand, which is followed virtually all over the world, except for, of course, New York City real estate. We're just going to pretend New York City doesn't exist for the purpose of this video because New York makes no sense. So if you think a stock is going to go up, you'll buy it because that means that you'll make money over time. So let's say that you think that GameStop is a good company. You go over to your broker and you ask for 10 shares when GameStop is $10 per share. That means that you have now spent $100 on GameStop stock. If GameStop does
Good is not right. Is it pump and dump? People will lose money? Yes, they will. But here's the thing. The people that are able to buy into a hedge fund are at the minimum at least buying in with like 250K. Okay. So these aren't like, ma and pa losing fucking money. These are rich enough people who are buying into it, who are able to literally get into a hedge fund losing fucking money. And the hedge fund itself that's losing money. If you are going after a hedge fund, that bad take, fuck no, dude. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Are you kidding me? It's trust fund kids and fucking the wealthiest people on the planet. Do you understand how hedge funds work? It's not like you could literally fucking build your nest egg for 30 fucking years and bring it over to a hedge fund. You literally have to have a significant amount of fucking money to be able to get into a hedge fund. I am 100% correct. It's not like your Merrill Lynch portfolio is getting absolutely eviscerated because your money manager decided to put a percentage of your fucking 401k into GameSpot or GameStop, whatever the fuck. I always fuck it up.
as well and goes to $20 a share, now your shares are worth $200, meaning that you just made money. And if GameStop does poorly and goes to $1 a share, it goes to 10. Now your shares are worth $10. You just lost $90. When you're purchasing shares of a stock, this is the very important part here. The worst thing that can happen is that you lose your initial investment. So if you purchase 10 shares of GameStop at $10 a piece, the worst thing that can happen to you is that your $100 goes to zero if they go bankrupt and they are insolvent and they go out of business entirely. The worst thing that can happen is you lose your initial investment. But that's it. You put $100 in, you lose $100. Now, there's another type of investing called short selling, and this is much more risky, and this is something that a lot of the institutional investors and larger investors are able to engage in more so than us, for reasons I'll explain in a moment. Short selling is when, instead of purchasing the stock, let's say the stock is at $10 a share and I think it's going to go down to $1 and I want to make money off that, I will borrow the shares from someone, and then the moment I borrow your shares, I will immediately sell them to somebody else. So let's say it's $10 a share. I borrow 10 of your shares, and then I sell those 10 shares to someone else for $10 a piece. I haven't paid for anything yet, so I have $100 in my bank account. And if it goes down to $1 a share, well, I don't have to pay you back right now for the shares. I can pay you later. So I sell the shares. I've sold them. I have sold 10 shares of GameStop at $10 a piece in this scenario. I have $100, and the stock next week goes down to $1. Now, I borrowed the shares, but I'm paying for them later. So if it went down, now I only have to pay $10. So as a result of the stock going from $10 to $1, me short selling 10 shares, I am now ahead $90 because I got the $100 last week. And now when it's time for me to pay the piper and pay for the borrowed shares, I'm paying for them based on the price that they are now, which means that I am paying only $10. This means that I get to make money off of the stock going down. The downside to this approach is that there is infinite downside. Let's say that the stock goes up to $100 a share. Now it's $1,000. So I just made $100, but I have to pay $1,000. Let's say the stock goes up to $1,000 a share. I just made $100, but now I have to pay $10,000. Let's say the stock goes up to $1 million a share. My short sell just made me $100 because I sold it for the $10 a share. Next week, they find another planet and invent time travel, and GameStop is now $1 million. Now I owe you $10 million. You see, here's the problem with short selling. You don't just lose your initial investment because there is no initial investment. The potential for loss when short selling is literally infinite. And you can typically only short sell with if you have an account that has a certain amount of money in it or margin. So you usually, at your broker, at least before the Robinhood shit came in and everybody got margin, you used to have to speak with someone, show them documents and all this other crap and go through this process to get margin. It wasn't something that some jackass like me, sitting here in a worn-out Under Armour shirt and a crappy old sweater, could just get immediately. I don't have margin on my account at this point in time. This is something that was typically reserved for expert investors, large hedge funds, or institutional investors. Because when the stock winds up going up, you need to have enough money that the broker is not going to come over to you and demands that you sell your stuff now. You have to have a broker that's going to be understanding that, let's say, no, I really think it's going to go down. Just give me a week or two, because the broker is going to be on the hook if you don't pay him. This is something that it's typically done by large institutional investors and hedge funds. This is important to understand because it helps give you context as to why the money managers, institutional investors, and hedge fund owners are as mad as they are right now and are as angry as they are right now, and why they want to immediately get on TV or Bloomberg or the New York Times or Yahoo Finance and immediately start blaming someone else for what is going on. They are this mad because they're not just an investor that invested and lost their initial investment. They decided to make a very greedy investment that is very risky and very speculative, and as a result of making that risky speculative investment, lost many multiples of their initial investment. So what they were doing with GameStop is they were shorting the stock. Now,
the irony, of course, is that they were making the smart investment in that point. It's a greedy one, but it was literally the smart investment. But the only reason why it's no longer a smart investment is because not looking real smart anymore because the price is fucking shot up as a consequence of, I don't know, a bunch of people getting together and deciding, hey, we should just all fucking buy GameStop stocks. Did I say it right? Is it GameStop? I'm gonna fuck it up again.
Shorting a stock in and of itself is not the worst thing in the world. Again, you're betting on the stock failing. You're going to cause the stock to go down, so you're kind of betting on people's misery, people losing their jobs. It's not the nicest thing. But shorting in and of itself is not particularly horrible. What happened here is that they shorted over 100% of the available shares. So instead of saying, I think GameStop is going to go down, let me make a small bet on it, they decided to literally bet everything. They bet more than everything, which is why this happened. So had the institutional investors, had the hedge funds not been as greedy as they were, a group of internet kids would never have been able to do what they did. The reason that they were able to do what they did is because these people got caught with their dick in the cookie jar. And you're not supposed to put your dick in the cookie jar. They got caught. It's not that the institutional investors were these kind, prim and proper people wearing their bow tie and doing everything all prim and proper. Were just as they were on their walk home, were robbed by a mob of angry kids.
Damn, bro, this guy's got accents too. I'm losing my audience to him.
No, a bunch of kids saw that adult grown-up stealing from a house, and then they said, no, fuck that, we're reporting you. And then they got reported, and now here's the thing. They don't want to pay the piper. And they're hoping that if they're able to pull the wool over your eyes, they won't get in trouble. See, if a bunch of kids catch an adult stealing from someone's home or breaking into a car, it's really hard to spin that because you know that that's wrong. But if a bunch of kids find an adult going, short selling in a way that probably should be illegal with more than 100% of the float that's available, it's financial mumbo jumbo. And if you don't understand the financial mumbo jumbo, you're not even going to understand that those kids were not doing something wrong. They simply found out that these people were being greedy and doing shit they shouldn't have done, and that, hey, they fucking deserve to get in trouble for it. So, short selling is
He's right.
something that's actually going to cause the price of a stock to go down. Because keep in mind, what I'm saying is I'm going to buy the stock later. I'm not going to buy it now because buying makes the price go up. Selling is going to make it go down. I'm going to sell a bunch of it right now. And if you sell a bunch of it right now, what that does is it brings the stock price down. Further, once the stock price goes down, other people start to get nervous and go, wait, I don't want to lose the whole value of my investment. I don't want to lose all the money that I've made. No! And they get nervous and they cash out. When they cash out, it lowers the price even more. When the price goes down even more, that causes other people to then go, oh, God, I need to sell out. When they sell out, the price goes down more, which causes other people to go, oh, God, and cause the...
And what happened here is the opposite of that.
And cause them to sell out and the price to go down even more. And as this continues to occur, what happens is the short seller, the original short seller, could just, finish their position, just be done with it. Or if they're a greedy fuckface, they could double or nothing it and say, no, we're going to short sell again and again and again. And that's what happened. Rather than simply be happy that they were able to beat this stock, to absolutely brutally browbeat this thing down from it being worth, $25 all the way to being worth fucking $3. Rather than being happy that there was an over 5 or 7 or 800 or 900% return on their fucking investment, they needed to keep going back and back and back. Because when you're a billionaire hedge fund manager, when you're an institutional investor worth hundreds of millions of dollars, well, let's just keep doing it. Let's keep robbing the American people blind. Let's keep robbing the people who bought this thing blind. Let's keep manipulating them. Let's keep making them think that this is going to fail when in reality it's all artificial. It's all short selling that is going to have to be covered later. And when they cover, here's the thing. Yeah, they drove it down, but they got to buy all that shit back, which means it's going to go back up. So if the company is truly failing, it doesn't matter because you're going to buy it at a low price because everybody else is selling. If the company is not really failing, if the company is not really in complete disarray, and you short over 100% of the available fucking shares, when it goes down, it's actually going to rocket back up. Because again, keep in mind, you're paying interest on that money. So let's say I borrow 10 shares of stock when it was at $10 a share. I borrowed $100 from my broker.
So how much can they push to fucking completely bankrupt this? To completely bankrupt this hedge fund? Like, how much more do they have to push? To the moon? Okay, guys, stop. What are they? It's close already? No. If they're saying 1,000 and GameStop is at like what, 240 or something, that's not gonna happen. I read that it's infinite. If the market opens up at current price tomorrow, they will go bankrupt. Shut the fuck up. When do they have to pay? It already happened? Like, what? How long do they have to hold? Until Thursday? 160 has to hold until Thursday? They would lose their $3 billion. 175 is when they lose their $3 billion investment. No. I'm talking bankrupt them. Like, take their entire money. Because if they're, I'm not talking about their original investment of $3 billion. If they're like, what? If they're worth $11 billion, options expire Friday. That is their last chance for the stock to drop. Okay. They pay when the short positions expire. 115 on Friday, and banks have to buy big. The first hedge fund involved had to be bailed out by another the next day. And now that one is getting wrecked. Oh, Citadel was the one. Citadel at 0.72 to invest $2.75 billion into Melvin Capital Management. Oh, that's awesome. An exceptional investor and a leader. We're pleased to have the opportunity to invest additional capital. Oh my God. Oh, Mr. Plotkin has also garnered attention for his buy of a stake in NBA basketball team, the Charlotte Hornets. Melvin plans to proceed with his plan to take in more than $1 billion in new money in February. Dude, come on. You can't tell me this is a fucking delicious, juicy story, dude. This is so awesome. It's like fucking 30-year-old mega billionaires getting absolutely fucking cumstered. 35-year-old multi-billionaires from Harvard getting fucking owned by a bunch of fucking random dudes who started up their Robinhood account so they could use like the fucking stimulus money that they had, the first semblance of disposable income that they fucking had, to like make a buck in this permanent growth stock market. And now they accidentally fucking stumbled ass backwards into literally taking billions of dollars from a fucking hedge fund and maybe even taking down 2 hedge funds along with it. Well, that probably won't happen. The worst part is that, like the banks, these guys will get bailed out from this soon. Oh, for sure. Well, they're not at that position because they're not randomly at that position. They're at that position because they know the right people. These people are all stupid. They try to buy low and sell high. I set my goal to buy high and sell low. Either I achieve my goals or I make money. It's a win-win. Seeing a lot of people laughing about the GameStop Reddit stock thing, and yeah, I understand why you might think it's funny that a hedge fund goes under, but what if it was your hedge fund that they were doing it to? Not so funny then, huh? Yeah. Yeah, starting a GoFundMe for... Bro, we need to start a GoFundMe for these hedge fund managers, dude. Oh, they've already been bailed out. GameStop short seller down 30% this year gets $2.8 billion bailout from the firm's billionaire investors Steve Cohen and Ken Griffin. Steve Cohen's .72 and Ken Griffin's Citadel investing $2.75 billion in Melvin Capital. Melvin is down about 30% this year as the short positions are getting hammered. Day traders have bid up the stock prices of GameStop, Bed Bath & Beyond, and other popular shorts. I mean, they have like unlimited funds, right? Couldn't they just keep holding the short no matter what happens? Well, I guess it doesn't matter because now they have to... No, because it's expiring. That's true. I heard that if the stock goes up to 175, they're broke. They expire on Friday. That's true. Analyst equates Wall Street bets with capital insurrectionists. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, this story is so juicy. What the fuck? This is a hilarious story, dude. Oh my God, this is so good.
Which happened on Friday.
Look at these fucking dipshits, dude. Oh my God, they're all so mad. They're big mad. It's like, you know how you hate Donald Trump? We all do, but he really triggered the fuck out of the worst people. And I mean, like, you know, establishment Republicans, establishment Democrats, like people that you fucking despise, right? Like he made them grovel. Like he made them fucking get on their hands and knees and beg. And then he still ritually humiliated them. People like John Bolton, you know what I mean? And that gives you a sense of happiness because while this guy's a piece of shit, he's like literally ruining some of the worst demons, right? And it's kind of like that where I'm enjoying the shit I don't give a fuck about Wall Street bets at all. But the collective action side of things is intriguing to me. The enemies are perfect. But more importantly, I'm watching these like fucking, these people who rely on these tools lose their shit over the game no longer favoring them. And it's fucking awesome.
Friday, which really is, I think, something we really need to keep an eye on as market watchers.
It's so good.
As a data company, which is that, you know, Andrew Leff comes out and he says, hey, the stock's overvalued. There's nothing really controversial in that. But what happened is that this caught the eye of the Reddit army, and they really went after him. They went to intimidate him and went after his family and sent packages. And it was a whole...
Wow, I guess this guy only reads one book, huh?
Whole height of...
What is it? Blame the shorts?
Harassing him.
Or is it don't blame?
To the point where he feared for his own personal safety. So this is something new where you see vigilante capitalism go from the halls of our capital to our capital markets. It's something new, and I think we need to really keep an eye on that because it's all about liquidity.
Oh my God.
And it will affect liquidity eventually.
Wait, does he literally have... Is this book called Don't Blame the Shorts? Oh my God. His book is literally called Don't Blame the Shorts, dude. Oh my God. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so fucking good. Oh no, you might as well have covered your book behind you, brother. Like that's a story in which like a fundamental problem within shorting is used against the hedge fund, and here you are, hedge fund manager, book writer Andy, literally showcasing your book that you wrote. That is wow. Michael Burry, the guy who famously shorted the mortgage bond market before the recession, has 1.7 million shares of GME. Wait, how did he fucking know?
Bob, of course, no one wants to face threats, and we thank you for raising that sort of attention. But unfortunately, that sort of threat.
I literally never thought that I would be standing side by side with Wall Street Bets and laughing. Like, this is like that fucking Lord of the Rings meme. It's like, I never thought I would die alongside a dwarf. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. Where it's so great. It's so crazy.
Threat online isn't new, and online social media attacks aren't new. What is new, though, is more perhaps how much companies who short certain stocks, or indeed institutional investors as a whole, need to pay more attention to what is going on in these sorts of, perhaps they're retail, but some of them are really rather professional traders that happen to join these sorts of online platforms, because this isn't a new thing that they've been focusing on GameStop. They've been talking about this company almost for years now. It's only now that they're starting to turn the attention of the short sellers. Do you think this is something that short sellers are going to start factoring in?
Well, it's hard, right? So what you're really saying is that if I'm a gamer and I like crypto and I like cannabis, it's a lifestyle. And
oh my God, he's so bitter. Oh, he's so bent, dude. Oh, get fucked. Get fucked, Bob. Oh my God, dude. He is so mad. Look at this. Oh, I gotta run that again. That's so funny. Oh, where did he go to school? Let me see. What has he done? Where? Robert Sloan. Damn, homie doesn't even have a fucking Wikipedia page, dude. That's so sad. Come on, brother. You gotta have something. He's a managing partner at S3 Partners, a global financing specialist firm dedicated to helping its hedge fund clients optimize the best managed prime broker relationships, which he founded in 2003. He worked at Lehman Brothers. From 1989 to 1986, Sloan worked at Lehman Brothers in the equity, derivatives, and central funding unit. Prior to his career on Wall Street, he was a speechwriter and a translator for the Ministry of International Trade and Industry in Tokyo, Japan. Never mind. He got a Bachelor of Arts from Washington and Lee University.
It's only now that they're starting to turn the attention of the short sellers. Do you think this is something that short sellers are going to start factoring in?
Well, it's hard, right? So what you're really saying is that if I'm a gamer and I like crypto and I like cannabis, it's a lifestyle. And, I don't care what the fundamentals say. It's what I know, and I'm going to buy it because I feel like I should buy it. And so you have a whole new sector of investors that use Robinhood, use the WSB, the Reddit thread, to invest in these stocks. And it's this real kind of irresistible object versus the immovable force. And what's happening is that the retail right now is stronger, but the short bets come back and fill in. So it's just a battle that's going to continue. You're going to see GameStop go way higher.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean, it's so awesome. Should I put my life savings in the Jimmy? No, dumbass. Don't fucking do some dumb shit like that. What are you, fucking stupid? No. The best part is that Melvin Capital, the Bears, we are fucking made a bunch of money off of Cyberpunk being dog shit and then got clapped by a bunch of gamers on Reddit. Wow, I just never thought that. I just literally never thought that this would. Is this true? I don't know how reliable this Twitter account is. Melvin Capital is to file bankruptcy as soon as next week. According to sources, the bailout received yesterday from Citadel and .72 went poof today as the GameStop momentum continued. The fund was forced to liquidate its Alibaba position after hours. Melvin is down another 25% on GME 7 hours ago. These guys are so fucked. Check out my math. As of January 22nd, 2021 close, they were down 30%. They had 13.1 billion as of March 2020. Assuming this doesn't change, that's a loss of 3.9 billion as of January 22nd. During this time, GME increased 46.95 from 17.9 to 64.85, aka for every $11.95 increase in the GME price, Melvin loses 1 billion. GME price as I'm writing this is at $103.46. That means since the 2.75 billion bailout, Melvin has lost another 3.2 billion or 25%. Edit, when the GME hits 175, it'll be game fucking over for Melvin. 100% loss. They can't restart. We like the stock. We like the stock. We like the stock. It's at $209 right now. Oh my God, this is so good, dude. Oh fuck, I hope this doesn't blow the fuck up. I legitimately think that, dude, I don't know, man. I'm scared that they're gonna fucking, I don't know. I don't want to say anything. If you read about the creation of mortgage-backed securities, the guys who invented them were big, loud, middle-class guys who did epic food challenges and pranked each other. Redditors have always run the financial sector. This guy basically invented bundling mortgages together to sell them as a bond. This is what a Reddit guy looks like. Greg asked you a question, dude. They aren't going to clap you for covering this? Wait, what? What the fuck are they going to clap me for? What are you going to do, bro? What? Dude, I don't even have a credit card, let alone a Robinhood account, brother. I literally don't have a credit card to my name. They're going to clap me for what? Covering this shit? If they're going to clap me, they should fucking clap Jim Cramer's bald ass, dude. He at least has like positions and shit. Yeah, you need to be an insider trader. You need to be trading to be an insider trader. What am I, an outsider trader? They made sea shanty for GME. Funny thing is, the more they cry about it, the worse it gets. No, it's fucking awesome, dude. I mean, I'm fully on board. It's great. Outside trader, retail investor. That's not even a trader. I don't even fucking know. Chatter misunderstood why you didn't want to say this could all fall apart. Oh. Oh yeah, no, I wasn't talking about it from my own personal stake in the matter. I'm more so worried that, like, I don't know. I'm just fucking worried, man. I'm worried. These guys don't fuck around. Like, they have institutional power. You know what I mean? I just, like, Elon Musk just tweeted about the stock, and they're now trading at 192 after hours. If they open at this price, Melvin Capital will go bankrupt tomorrow morning. Yeah, we already talked about that. For all the journalists trying to understand the GME situation, read this top post from the Wall Street Bet. It explains very well what is happening and why. This is personal for all of us. I've never seen anything like what's happening with GME before, and I don't think I'll ever see anything like this. This is a big moment, a tug of war between tradition and the future. Hedge fund managers live in the past and continue to look down upon retail investors. They truly believe that we, the average retail investor, don't know anything about finance or the market, which may be true, and we're just gambling our money away. We don't know any better. We need hedge fund managers to tell us what to do, save us. This is the world they want to live in. This is the past. Remember that scene from The Sopranos where Tony's wife... Remember that scene from The Sopranos where Tony's wife calls to buy 5,000 shares of Weebonics after she was manipulated emotionally to do so? After she was manipulated emotionally to so? What? Institutions and hedge funds want us to be stuck in that world. They're scared of the future. They're scared because so much information is available for free now. There's no more fees for trading. We have large communities that discuss stocks and trading openly. We can think and make decisions for ourselves, which scares the fuck out of old school institutions and hedge funds. Fuck them all. This affects every single one of you, whether or not you're holding GME. TLDR, fuck hedge funds. This is a cross point into the future. We did it, Reddit. For once, Reddit Gold is... For once, Reddit Gold is actually translating to real money, real world money. Wall Street hedge funds literally being rated for everything they have by mainstream memers. We're witnessing tens of billions of dollars go from Wall Street to Main Street daily now. A reminder to everyone reading, while this is funny and very profitable for some, eventually things will come back down. GameSpot's GME is objectively worth nowhere near what they're trading at. Putting money in now is no different than gambling. This is an investment advice. Wall Street is about to put a lot of pressure on the SEC to make stock memes illegal and for it to be harder for everyday Americans to trade. They don't want it to be legal. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's exactly what I was saying. That's what I'm fucking worried about. That they're literally going to be like, they will try to make it so that organizing via social media in this way will never happen again. Because the free market is not fucking free. And a bunch of ANCAP loving libertarians who are on Wall Street bets is about to come to that realization. And that shit fucking terrifies me. Okay? There is no fucking way where you could like literally raid hedge funds like this and distribute it to so many people. Think about it, guys. The Republican Party literally was like, we will lose this election instead of giving poor people a single fucking dollar. Like they literally were just like, I'm sorry. You're going to get $2,000 and you don't deserve it. I would rather die. I would rather die on the halls of fucking Congress than make sure a person making, $20,000 a year gets $2,000 in direct payments. And that's how they fucking operate. Only they get to manipulate the stock market. Wall Street bets aren't the ones who shorted 150% of a company. That should be illegal. Brother, do not misunderstand me. I'm all for fucking Wall Street regulation. Wall Street bets has written an open letter to the powers that be at CNBC. They threaten to continue bankrupt every last hedge fund. Oh my God, my dick is hard. Since Wall Street has screwed over the average American and always gets bailed out, that actually make great points. Oh my God, this is so good. Before you spend another day hosting your shill hedge fund buddies to come on the air and demonize Wall Street bets, I hope you read this. Your contempt for the retail investor, your audience, is palpable. And if you don't get it together, you'll lose an entire new generation of investors. I keep thinking about these funds that are short GME, like your boys at Melvin Capital / your coverage of the subreddit, and I'm getting madder and madder. These funds can manipulate the market via your network. And if they screw up big because they don't even know the basics of portfolio risk 101 and using position sizing, they just get a bailout from their billionaire friends at Citadel. Then they have the nerve to turn us into public enemy number one just because we believe in an underdog company getting a second chance. Okay, that's bullshit. You didn't fucking believe in that at all. We don't have billionaires to bail us out when we mess up our portfolio risk in a position that goes against us. We can't go on TV and make attempts to manipulate millions to take our side of the trade. If we mess up as bad as they did, we're wiped out, have to start from scratch, and are back to giving handjobs behind the dumpster at Wendy's. Seriously, motherfuck these people. I sincerely hope they suffer. We want to see the lost porn. Damn, what the fuck? Wall Street Bet celebrates Fox News reporting that hedge fund manager says they will continue shorting GameStop. They are rejoicing at the opportunity to squeeze yet another hedge fund into the group. They will keep shorting in order to keep the stock from rocketing to the moon and hope that we give up to get scared and sell en masse. It's a war of attrition. If we blink, we lose. If we hold, we win. It's really that simple. For the people at the SEC who will likely be assigned to investigate this incident and come across this threat at some point, r/Wall Street Press is simply an internet forum and no single entity is organizing this effort. It's just a bunch of memers who like video games and hate Wall Street. The people on r/Wall Street Bets and those betting against the hedge funds on GME, you are all pro Bitcoin, whether you know it yet or not. Okay, of course, William is selling Bitcoin. Reddit, it appears you are in the clear. Oh, someone... Wait, never mind. They're just a reporter for Wall Street Journal saying they cannot do anything. I cannot emphasize enough that there is no crime here. What legal experts have you talked to? Man with sock puppet Twitter account. There is nothing wrong with buying a stock because it's popular. It's the essence of stock trading. You should read the rules on market manipulation. Now could they change the rules? Yes. So that was my take, is that they would change the fucking rules. Why don't you invest, brother? A little money can go a long way. Man, I'm fine, dude. I like working for my supper, okay? I like dancing for my supper. And also on top of that, I think it's gambling. I'm very addictive. I have a very addictive personality. I'll fucking gamble it all away, okay? I'll make dumb choices. Do you have a 401k? No, I had one at TYT, but I don't have one anymore. I definitely should have it, though. I mean, it's 100% gambling. Anyone who tells you it's not gambling is wrong. Like, you can make smart bets, but it's still a fucking bet, ultimately. A mutual index fund is not gambling. Sure. That's fair. What would I liken that to? Like, low risk, low reward. I mean, even that's still gambling, but it's low risk, low reward gambling. Low risk beats inflation. Yeah. The irony is that isn't short selling a form of market manipulation because they're purposely making a stock worthless? Yes, that's literally what all these people are saying. And that's why that fucking guy who wrote a book on how short selling is actually not bad is crying on fucking CNBC about how, you know, what these guys are doing is big meanie bobinis and they're hurting people.
For them to lend me those shares.
Hey, let's keep going.
Now I need my broker to loan me money. They're going to charge me interest on that. Now, if a stock goes up from 3 to 5 to 10 to 20 to 30, my broker is going to call me and say, "Listen, man, you know, I know that you're good for the $100 in your bank account. I don't know if you're good for 300, so I need you to immediately cover and pay right now. You're not waiting anymore for this to go down." Imagine how bad this is when the stock goes from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 to 80 to 100 to 120 to 140. That's what happened here. And as a result of that happening, all of these institutional investors are now being forced to close their positions, aka buy the stock that they finally pay for the stock that they borrowed and short sold months ago. So these institutional investors, as the stock went down from 25 to 20 to 15 to 12 to 10 to 8, they didn't sell. They never closed their position here. They waited till it got to fucking 3 and they kept shorting it. So what happens at this point is now a bunch of people found this out because you can see what percentage of the stock or the open shares are short. This is easy to find on any website. So a bunch of people that had nothing better to do because they probably lost their jobs because they're considered non-fucking essential by Andrew Cuomo said, okay, listen, I got nothing better to do with my day. Let me just go through every single stock in the fucking market and see what the shares are available short and compare that to their book value or their total equity or their cash on hand or whatever. And a bunch of people did that because they have a bunch of time to because they have no job to go to. And they found GameStop and they saw, the market cap on this has went down by over 5 times in the past 2 or 3 years, and it's over 100% share shorted. And this is really cheap. If I buy this, it's going to go up because they need to cover. I know that all of these institutional investors are going to need to purchase this stock, or they're going to need to buy shares to cover their short position. So this is going to go up. Okay, cool. I'll buy it. And then they shared the information with everybody else and said, hey, I found out that this company with these details has been short sold by all of these greedy institutional investors. Look at this link where you could see that over 100% of the shares are shorted. Why don't you... Listen, I'm buying. What do you think of this information? Now, do keep in mind the way short selling works. You are borrowing the shares from somebody else in order to sell them. You haven't paid for them yet. That's how you make your money. You're going to pay for the shares later when you give them back once the shares have gone down in price. That's how short sellers make money. So because the short seller has...
Everything you need to know about the stock market is also represented in this conversation. I have heard exactly 0 people talk about GameStop beyond GME. Like, literally 0 people have talked about the future of GameStop. As in, everybody fucking knows the company is garbage. Okay? Virtually everyone knows the company is dog shit. And there is no better example of that reality than 0 people talking about GameStop and its fucking future, or like, you know, how they're going to recover from this. Like how this is a recovery story for GameStop. Wrong. So wrong. They're turning it around. Okay, shut the fuck up. Literally every gamer. You want to know how this is? This isn't about like how much people love GameStop, because, and you can prove this in a court of law. Every gamer fucking hates GameStop. Okay, GameStop is where we went when we were younger to buy a fucking video game for $60 and then return it the next day and get $13 fucking dollars. Okay? I, much like every other fucking gamer I know, was excited at the prospect of GameStop going bankrupt, going bye-bye, okay? So don't fucking tell me that an entire subreddit full of gamers, an entire subreddit full of people like this are excited at the prospect of GameStop succeeding beyond the fact that they can make money off of it, okay? Come on, dude. Yeah, in-store credit. Don't make me pull out the fucking old ass. I mean, I literally have them still here. I have these historic monuments, okay? I have them from the bargain bin, the games that I've purchased from GameStop for like $3. Also, digital purchases have ruined GameStop. Like, they can try to fucking give you exclusive skins all they want, but come on.
Borrowed the shares to sell them. They are on the hook. They need to replace those shares. They need to buy those shares back from somebody. And
hey, brother, this isn't the Wall Street Bets Discord. You can't fucking say mongoloid and shit and not expect to get banned. I'm just letting you know, okay? You know, go back to your cave.
if on the open market, more short sellers have short sold shares than shares that are actually available, that means that we're in a situation where there are only 5 cameras available. There are 10 people that need to buy this camera because they broke their parents' camera, and they're going to get in deep shit and punished if it's not returned. So you have 5 cameras on the market, 10 people that need to buy cameras, absolutely must buy cameras. What are they going to do now? They can't just buy it at the price that it's at the store. They're going to have to convince people that don't want to sell their cameras to sell their cameras. And how do you do that? Well, by asking more money. And that's what they're being forced to do. They would not be in this position if they did not try to short more than 100% of the available fucking shares, which probably should be illegal because they are greedy. So if I'm an investor and I'm able to find this information, I may not want to buy GameStop because I see that I know that they're going to have to convince me to sell my shares. So if I know that over 100% of the shares are shorted and the company is not in disarray and failing, I know that if I purchase it, that there's a good chance that the stock value will go up. Not because I'm manipulating it, simply because I am purchasing it and I am making a choice, which I'm allowed to make, that I do not wish to sell right now. It's not my fault that they got stuck with their dick in the cookie jar and are now forced to sell in order to give back what they borrowed and sold looking to make.
Yeah, even this serial killer knows this reality.
A profit off of.
He's talking about this reality from his serial killer basement. Come on, man. Those gloves make it look like he literally does murders professionally. I can't get over misery.
It. So what people are
like
now
literally Hitman Andy over here, Agent 48.
are doing is they posted saying, hey, look at the amount of shares that were short with this one stock and look at its underlying fundamentals. Then other people came in and saw, oh, wow, yeah, it's not, they're not declaring bankruptcy or anything, and over 100% of the shares are shorted. All right, I'll buy some. And then someone else came by and saw this information and said,
Maybe Melvin Capital can recoup their investment in store credit at GameStop. Oh, that's
I'll buy
so
some.
bad.
Then other people came by and said, wow, they're that greedy? All right, cool, I'll buy some. And then they waited. They diamond hands, they held.